Hello and welcome to our 16th session. And in our last 15th session, we have added a lot of great functionality. But our game is still missing a few critical features. First of all, the user has to press a key like yes to spawn animals. That makes no sense. The animal should spawn automatically every couple of seconds. Also, when the foot collides with an animal, it flies through it like a magical laser beam. That's not good either. When the foot hits an animal, they should both be removed from the scene. By the end of this session, animals will spawn automatically every couple of seconds, and then when the foot collides with an animal, both game objects will disappear. To make animals span automatically, we will need to create a brand new method called SpawnRandomAnimal and put our instantiate call in it. You may not realize it, but this is a very exciting moment because this is the first time we will be writing our own new method. We have overwritten methods like update and start. We have called methods like translate and instantiate, but we have never actually written one before by ourselves. So it's a big day. Mark it on your calendars. So to make all this happen, let's dive into Unity. Launch Unity Hub, come to Projects tab, and here click on the Dear Game project. We are starting from our previous session. If by chance if you doesn't have this project here, you can come into our Patreon page. This Patreon page link is provided in YouTube video and also in e-learning description. If you just scroll down, a link has been provided to you, 16 Dear Game Collisions start.zip. Click on this to download this 1 GB file, and once the file is downloaded, you can copy it to your Unity projects folder, right click and click on extract all to extract all the files. Come here into Unity Hub, add project from disk, select the folder and click open. Right now I click cancel and click on Dear Game to open my previous project. Right now panning of the animals happens when I press the key S, but I want it to happen automatically every few seconds. To do this, I will come into this project panel and in script SpawnManager, double click to open it. This will open it in Visual Studio Code. In our previous session, we had added these 4 lines of code. These lines of code actually determine the spanning of our animals. So in this session now, we are going to define our own function. In this SpawnManager mono behavior, we have 2 inbuilt functions. One is void start and void update. These are a part of this mono behavior class. We are going to create our own function like this. Function means it is a set of commands which will be executed by calling this function. In function, you will have 2 parts. The first part is declaring the function. First, we are going to declare it. So after this void update, before the closing flower bracket of my class, I will press enter. We start with public or private. If I don't type anything, it will be private. This function is not going to return any value. In that case, we start the function with the void. Void means it is not going to return any value. I am now going to call, I am going to start it with capital letter. It is SpawnRandomAnimal. This is the name of the function, and always the function will end with open close bracket, that is this parenthesis. Inside this parenthesis, sometimes if this function needs any parameter, we will add it. Right now for this function, we are not using any parameter. I am going to press enter and add one open flower bracket and close flower bracket. In between these 2 flower bracket, I will press enter and I am going to paste my code. I am going to select all the code that is inside this if statement along with this comment. I will just cut this and come into this SpawnRandomAnimal function or method that we have created, and I will press Ctrl V to paste it. This got converted into a function, and now in key code S, I am just going to call this function SpawnRandomAnimal, and when we call it, we have to end it with open close brackets and end it with semicolon. Here we are calling SpawnRandomAnimal. and when we call it, all the codes within this method will be executed. If we go to file, save this, and if you come back to Unity and allow for the script to compile, see in console there are no errors. If I now come into the game and execute the game, when I press S, see the spanning is happening. So now I will stop the playback. Now to span our animals without pressing the S key automatically, we are now going to use another new method. So I will come back to Visual Studio Code. I will come here into void start. That is, as soon as the game starts, I want this SpawnRandomAnimal actual method to be executed after a specific duration of time. There is a built-in method in Unity called as InvokeRepeating. So INVOKE, InvokeRepeating. In open close brackets, I will end it with semicolon. I have to first specify the name of the method that I want to invoke, and this name will be a string. In inverted comma, I am now going to call SpawnRandomAnimal, that is this function. I will come out of the inverted comma and add comma. I want to specify after how much time the game starts, this invoking should start. So I will give a time duration of 2 seconds. After around 2 seconds, I will type 2.0f and I will end it with comma. So after 2 seconds, this invoking starts. And what is the repeat duration? After how much time this SpawnRandomAnimal function has to be repeatedly called? And this interval time, I am going to give it something like 1.5f, that is 1.5 seconds. Here these numbers, start time and the interval time, instead of entering it directly, again I am going to make use of variable. So I will come here below this line number 10, I will press enter and I will add 2 forward slashes, and I am going to create a variable to store the start delay time. I am going to declare a public float and I am going to call this as start delay, and I will set its value to 2.0f and end it with semicolon. I will press enter, again add 2 forward slashes, and I will add the comment create a variable to store the span interval time, and I will press enter and I will declare public float and I will call it span interval and I will set its value to 1.5f and end it with semicolon. In this invokes repeating line, instead of this 2.0f, I will replace this with start delay variable. Then instead of this 1.5f, I will replace it with spawnInterval. If I go to file and if I save this, if I come back into Unity and allow the script to compile, if you select SpawnManager, now you have 2 more parameters. One is the start delay and span interval. Now if I go to file, save and play the game, now once the game starts, after 2 seconds, the spanning starts automatically. And every 1.5 second delay, a new animal is entering. You can see spanning is happening automatically from different points. All those are fine. But when I move my player, so if I press spacebar and fire, when it goes and hits the animal, nothing is happening. As soon as this pizza goes and hits any of this animal here, the animal should disappear. I have to actually detect my collision. I will stop the playback. I have to add a collider to all the objects on the screen. Come into the project panel, select Fox1, and for this Fox1, I will click on open to open this. So this will now open as a prefab, and in this prefab we already have this MoveForward script. I will click on add component and I will add a component called as box collider. So I added a box collider. I will come top view and adjust my box so that it fits my object. I will right click here and disable perspective. Now I will come into this box collider and enable editing, and now I can just drag this and place it precisely all around my fox like this. I will drag the bottom end and align it. I will drag the top end and align it like this so that it covers my animal. Come on this gizmo, right click and choose front view. I will drag this and place it to the top so that it fits all around my animal like this. So I will come here into the right view. So this is now fine. Auto save is enabled. And now if I click on this arrow mark, I will come out of this fox one. So similarly now I will come into the project panel. I will now select dove and again I will click open. And for dove also I will click add component, add box collider. I will right click here and disable perspective and I will come into the top view, scroll down, I will enable edit collider and then I will just drag this and place it here. I will just drag the other end and place it here, drag the bottom end and place it here, drag the top, I will drag it and place it like this. Then I will right click, come into the right view, I will drag this and place it down and I will drag the bottom end and place it like this. Now I will enable perspective again. Auto save is on. One thing I forgot last time is after I adjust everything, I should switch off edit collider and switch on this Is Trigger. I will now click here to come back to my scene. I will select Fox 1 also, I will click open, I will switch off this edit and Is Trigger I will enable it. I will click here the left arrow to come out. I will now select Moose 1, click on open. In add component I will click here and add a box collider. I will enable Is Trigger, I will enable edit collide, right click on this gizmo, choose top view. I will change this view to orthographic, zoom out. And I will just drag these boxes so that it fits all around my moose like this. I will drag the bottom edge and also the top edge now. I will come and right click on gizmo and come into the right view and even here top edge I will drag it down, with middle mouse click I will pan up and bottom edge I will drag it and place it so that it fits all around my animal like this. Then I will right click and enable perspective. I have already enabled Is Trigger here, so I will click here and come back. Now one last thing for which I have to add collider is my pizza. So I will select pizza 1, I will again click open. I will come into add collider and add this box collider. If I right click and come into the top view, this is precisely placed now. I will come into the front view. So this is placed correctly. Here also I will enable Is Trigger. And when I am detecting this collision, one of the objects should compulsorily have rigid body. And we are going to add this rigid body to our pizza. Along with box collider, I will click on add component and I will add a rigid body. Now only thing is in this rigid body, disable gravity. So I will just disable use gravity. Come back to my scene. I will go to file and save this. To detect the collision, I will now come into the project panel scripts. I am going to right click and I am going to create a new mono behavior script and I am going to call this as DetectCollisions and see that the spelling here and the public class spelling are the same. Double click it to open it in Visual Studio Code. We are neither going to use this start or update. So I will select all the code, both void, start, everything in between this mono behavior, open and close flower bracket, whatever is there, I will delete it off. I am going to call another built-in function of mono behavior, which we call as OnTriggerEnter. I am now going to type private and this is a void function because it is not going to return anything. And the name of this function is O is capital OnTriggerEnter. I am going to add open close bracket and inside this open close bracket for OnTriggerEnter I have to add a parameter. And this parameter is just like a variable. The type of this parameter is, it is a collider and I will press space and I will call this as other. And then I will come out of this bracket, press enter and I will add open close flower brackets. When a trigger happens between any two objects, then inside this flower bracket, I am now going to call destroy, and I want this to destroy in open close bracket. I am going to destroy the game object. I am now going to end it with semicolon. Whenever a collision is triggered, the game object to which this script will be attached will get destroyed. So with this, I will go to File, save this. I will come into Unity, allow the script to compile. I already have the 3 animals in my scene. So I will select Moose 1. I will drag this detect collision and attach it to it. However, when I attach this to this detect collision to this Moose 1, it is attached only to this one instance. If I want to apply it to all instances, if you come in the inspector, on the top you have overrides. Click on this and choose apply all. So this will apply to all the prefab instances that we are going to use it in our scene. I will select Fox 1. I am going to now drag detect collision and add it to Fox 1. And even in Fox 1, detect collision is added. I will come here in overrides and choose apply all. Now similarly, I will select Doe 1, drag detect collisions and attach it to it. So I now have detect collision script added. Again in inspector in overrides, I will click on apply all. Before we check the game, I just wanted to come into SpawnManager, and here the span range is set to 30. So I will reduce this span range from 30 to 20. I am going to come into the hierarchy and select Doe 1, Fox 1 and Moose 1, all the 3, and I will press delete. And now if I right click and turn around, and I will just adjust the view so that I am on the back of my player. I will go to File, Save. And now if I execute the game and check it, see after 1.5 seconds, now the animal starts to come, and you can now the range has been reduced, and now as I fire, you can now see that the animals are getting destroyed. But the only problem is, even after destroying the animal, the pizza still keeps floating. See, the pizza keeps still moving even after destroying. So I will stop the playback, and I will double click detect collisions to open it in Visual Studio Code. After destroy game object, I will press enter, and I will add another line destroy, and in open close bracket I am going to call the other object that is getting collided, period, and I will call this game object. Coming out of the bracket, I will add the semicolon. So by just adding this line destroy other game object, if I now save the file, come back to Unity, allow the script to get compiled, and now if I play and check it, you can now see as the game starts, see now if I fire, see now when I hit any of the animal here, see now even the pizza gets disappeared. I will now stop the playback. Now finally, one last thing that I want to add here is, when the animals are not hit by the foot projectiles, and if it crosses and reaches the other side, it means that the game is over. So we have to show game over. For this, we are now going to come here into this MoveForward script. If I double click the MoveForward script, open it in Visual Studio Code, and here we had added this bound value. We have added this command to destroy the game object. In this case, now when the transform position z value is less than the negative bound value, that is when it moves on the negative side, then this means that the animals have crossed the boundary without being attacked by the projectile. So here, inside this if statement, I am going to call for another if statement, and in this I will open close the bracket parenthesis, then I will add open close flower bracket, and inside this flower bracket we are going to type the code, and the if condition that I am going to use here is this second condition. If transform position z is less than minus bound value, I will copy it and I will come here into the if statement here and paste it. If this condition is met, then as of now, I just want to add a message in my console window saying that game is over. So to publish anything in the console window, we use a method called as debug.log, and in open close bracket, I will end it with semicolon, and inside there in inverted comma, we'll add the string game over and end it with exclamation mark. If I come to file and if I save this, I will come back to Unity, allow the script to get compiled, and now if I play the game, you can now see after 1.5 seconds, you can see it is spamming. If it crosses and goes away, you see the game over. See, the game over is coming. I will stop the playback. With this, we have successfully completed this Dear Game project.